Welcome to Brunch, everyone. DJ Bean, Pete Blackburn coming at you today. Check us out on Twitter at Listen to Brunch, at DJ_Bean, at Pete Blackburn. If you like what you hear, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to support the podcast, head over to patreon.com/listen to brunch. Got a really good show lined up for you today. We're going to talk about a movie we haven't seen yet. How one of us tried to exercise and bit off a little more than he could chew. Plus, what the heck is going on with Apple? A lot to get to. Let's get into it.
Brunch. Hit it, boys.
That's going to be a great cold opening.
Yeah, I think I'm
straight into the intro.
I'm just gonna play like some bumper music and
hell yeah. I'm very into that.
On what planet? Why podcasts?
Why do you think that that's necessary to do? I started a YouTube channel last week, and first thing on my list of checklists was don't be a YouTube guy.
Hell yeah.
It was just I don't want to be a YouTube guy. Obviously, I had to slip in the, hey, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to. But the first thing on my list was don't start a video with, hey, YouTube, blah, 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 the fucking script that every goddamn YouTube person has. But yeah, you're right that it exists for podcasts, and it is so cringeworthy.
We've thought that since the very beginning. I mean, our first episode was just hello, yes, okay, we are going. And we identified ourselves, but we were always we are not going to, identify each other or say where to find us. If you found us, that's your problem.
Right? Yeah. You figure it out from this point on. I mean, we're not going to explain to you how to get out of this situation, but God bless anybody who found us and however they found us.
That is, yeah. How did, I want to hear people's brunch stories. How did you find us, and why did you stick with us? Questions like that. I mean, I'm trying to think of OG Bruntouchables. Because I would say now people would find us because you have a lot of Twitter followers, but we have people who have been there from the beginning, and it really was just not necessarily nobodies, and that's not to say that either of us are somebodies, but there wasn't some obvious oh shit, DJ and Pete got a podcast.
Yeah, and
can you believe those two teamed up?
And it's very weird because when I think of the brunch listeners, I do think of the OG Bruntouchables who have been with us forever and are the most vocal and stuff. But then I find out every once in a while that there's somebody that listens to the podcast that I would have never expected listens to the podcast, mainly because I just expect that nobody listens to this podcast other than the Bruntouchables who get the humor and things like that and who are vocal and active within the brunch community. So when there are people outside of that, I'm how did you get here and why are you sticking around?
Yeah, every now and then.
What are you getting out of this?
Yeah, I'll get a text from a friend or something that will be hey, heard you guys mention this on the last episode. You missed this point. One of my cousins who I was positive doesn't consume anything that I do because he's got a life. So I was just very flattered. He texted me a couple weeks ago and he was dude, obvious condom song, this song.
Oh,
and I was
this is a Spice Girls song, right?
Oh no. So that was the most obvious one, To Become One. And that was a real failure on my part. I didn't realize when having that conversation, I was going to be bummed when people pointed out ones that I missed because I'm not a music snob. Don't be music snobs, but I really
music
like
educated.
Yeah, right. I really like having music conversations. So if I was going to say at a bar, but that's never going to happen again. But I don't know, next time I'm at a bar and people are hey, we're talking music, condom talk, you in? I'm going to be I don't know.
It's just a real, it brought down it humbled you, I guess.
Yeah, I'm really afraid to talk music now.
Quick bar sidebar, pun intended. There is a dive bar straight down the street from me, probably a 2.5 minute walk, if that. And it is like the diviest dive bar that has ever existed. It's dark inside. It's like a little corner thing. It just looks like my kind of place. There's a high probability of you getting stabbed there on any given night. Just my kind of place. And I'm so disappointed that I can't go there. Like, I just want to go in there. Maybe like, I think that they'd let me rip a cigarette inside.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so bummed that I can't go there, because there's like 1,000% chance that I would get COVID.
I have a dive bar near me that I love so much. It could be my favorite bar of my life. And it's just so unbelievably unspectacular. But for whatever reason, if you've gone to it a couple of times, there's this sort of like magic you feel with it. Did I ever tell the story? One time I was there meeting, I think, maybe Miles to watch some basketball, and I was sitting there by myself, and I overheard a guy at the bar complaining about me.
No way. Hell yeah.
It was
that's an experience.
It was I texted my dad. Like I was texting my dad during it. I was like, what do I do here? Like, this is it.
Was he complaining about you because you were like on TV or something, or was he complaining about you because he saw you were at the bar, or did he have no idea that you were there?
He was saying something that was like slightly, I forget what he was saying, but I remember like as he was making, I'm going to get this story wrong, but there was a news story where a kid in a high school basketball game, like, elbowed a kid. He was taking a three or something, and then he elbowed a kid in the face. Something. Do you remember this?
No.
There was like this news story, and like the ref missed it, but it was like this kid like committed assault on the court, and everyone was like, "Yo, this kid's no good." And I forget what point this guy was making, but I was listening to it like in and out, and it seemed like pretty racist, and I was like, I don't know like what road this guy's starting to go down, but he better turn that car around quick. And he was sitting by himself. He was talking to the bartender, who was like, "Oh, I am so pretending you do not exist right now." But he was like, no one will say it. No one will say it. He was like, not that, he was like, you think a piece of shit, like coward, like DJ Bean would like tell this like it is or something. And I was like, oh my God, like, thank you.
Right. When it comes out of the mouth of somebody like that, it's probably a good thing for you. Also, nothing good has ever followed. Nobody else is going to say it, so I will.
Oh my God. Right. Nobody else is going to say. That just reminds me of, have you heard the Bill Burr joke about when I think he was in Nashville, and he started talking to a stranger at the bar, not knowing that the stranger was like a racist asshole, and like immediately wanted to be like, "Yo, I have nothing to do with this guy." And he was saying like telltale signs that like a guy is just a racist piece of shit. He pointed out that it was like Terrell Owens was complaining about his contract or something, and he was like, "I should have known, because I said to him like, man, what's T.O.'s problem? They just paid him and he already wants more." And he was like, and then when he was talking back to me, he wasn't looking at me. He was just like staring straight ahead at like the ground or whatever, and like getting way too intense when he was like, he needs to shut the fuck up. I'm not doing it justice at all, nor do I necessarily want to. Yeah, he Bill can handle that joke, but yeah.
Speaking of Bill Burr, he really stirred the pot. Supposedly, I watched the monologue from Saturday Night Live, and let me tell you, it was not controversial. He was an ally in ways that white people aren't always allies, and like I understand a white woman watching that and being like, "Yo, ease the fuck up," or I don't know. I don't remember the monologue by heart, but again, I'll say it again. He was being an ally in a way that white people aren't always, and I think that he is
And like he's not afraid to go there or whatever, but I mean, like
he is. It's like Bill Burr will tell you it like it is, and like he doesn't pull punches. And I think that everything he said was pretty accurate. So like,
I'll say like
when people said that he pissed off a lot of people. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because people will get pissed off at literally anything. But I was expecting the jokes to be a little bit more like controversial, and I just thought that was pretty on brand.
Yeah, and like I mean, honestly, I've been, you know this about me. I've in trying to be a better feminist, I have been trying to be a more inclusive feminist. Like feminism, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of experts on this subject, is very commonly whitewashed. And I think that's just insane classic white people. You know? Like,
yeah, I mean, that sounds
classic.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's fix a problem, and certainly a problem in a way that serves white people. And I think that calling that out and being like, excuse me, like black women have it. I don't want to say X amount of times hard because I don't know the number, but like,
right. I get it. But I also do feel like like the root of 90% of problems in like the course of human history,
white people,
insane white people have been at the root of it. So I don't think that's a hot take there.
Right. So what do we know though? We're just two
insane white people.
We're right. We're two insane white males ourselves. Also, I mean, got to point it out. A day or two after that monologue, which again, like if you didn't fuck with that monologue, by all means, if you were like, hey, it was way too hard on white women, or if you, I'm certain there are reasons that hurt white women, and I respect and acknowledge all of them. But like a day or two after he pointed out white women like distance themselves from white privilege and white people's problems by doing X, that Deadspin thing comes out saying like Adam Schefter is the worst. He's like white male privilege or whatever. And I was like, okay.
By the way, it's just like the worst piece of shit that I've read in a long time. And like, not only just like a bad clickbait thing, which you'll find countless amounts of shit like that on the internet every single day, but it is like legitimately harmful when you sort of like hijack I feel like that does more damage to like real problems and like real, like, hey, we need to be like, we need to have more useful discussions and actually go somewhere and be aware of like what we're doing. And I feel like that is way more harmful because it's such a nothing. It was such a nothing, harmless tweet from Adam Schefter. And to act like that was like the end of the world and like the embodiment of like white male privilege was such a stretch.
Right. So that's the thing. Like when you say this is like white male privilege at its worst, no, please don't let people think that white male privilege at its worst is somebody making a football joke. Like white male privilege at its worst is so much worse.
Oh
like,
yeah.
The ways the white men have wielded their power and everything is
like why, like Adam Schefter in that tweet didn't like dismiss anything. He didn't dismiss real issues. He made a football joke because he's a football reporter.
If there was one drop of awareness, knowledge of even basic comedy, Adam Schefter, who I don't peg for a comedian,
no,
was smart enough to use misdirection.
Right.
And for
just ridiculous.
For a writer and an editor, I don't want to put it all on the writer because an editor needs to say, what? We can't, no, we're not running this.
Right.
I don't. But a writer and an editor did not understand misdirection, which is crazy because, again, I do not think that Adam Schefter is funny.
And Deadspin's biggest strength over the course of Deadspin's life has been that they've had smart people in place. I think that like towards the end of like original Deadspin 1.0, I think that a lot of their stuff was whiny and like a little bit insufferable, but they still had smart people there. Now there's just not enough smart people under that banner, and they're trying too hard to be something that is just way more insufferable and way more useless than the previous iteration.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I was not a fan of Deadspin. I found Deadspin to be very hypocritical. They did
very high horsey.
They had one. I'll just never get over it. They had a post about Jamie Erdahl that was so mean and so dismissive and so suggested that she's pretty and that's why
useless. Yeah.
Right. And that's why she had her job. It was a thing I've probably talked about this before. It was a thing where she fell for a fake account, a fake Twitter account or something. And they posted about it, and they were so fucking mean and dismissive. And then, I don't know, within like a year and a half, 2 years, they're posting about awful people that are doing shit like they always did. Mm-hmm. And not to say, like, if you've ever been an asshole, you can't stop being an asshole. But, like, I was waiting for the, hey, this person, we're going after this person for posting something like the shit that we've always posted. Instead, they just pretended that they were always kind of above it. And that just didn't sit right with me, because I thought that they were mean and not nice. So whatever. I don't know. I guess that was us being boomerish. Was there boomer qualities to that? I really hope, and I hope none of that was mean or anything. So. Like, it's pro being an ally. Yeah. Just tell your loved ones you love them, and that's that. We were talking about music for a second, though. You want to talk about music?
It depends what you want to talk about. Depends what you want to talk about. Not a music guy.
I want to talk. Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say, like, I want to talk about Blue Oyster Cult and songs other than "Don't Fear the Reaper." No, I keep pulling up the wrong thing. I have two note things up. One is for brunch. One is for a silly other thing, and I keep missing it. You want to talk about? Hey, let's give you the options. We can talk about overplayed songs that you don't care. You'll keep listening to a million times. Off of that, you'd mentioned The Ringer brought up 90 songs. We can hit that for a second without hijacking their topic. iPhones are going to start coming without chargers. I worked out with Ted Johnson. I streamed today with a pro gamer. Possibilities are endless. You got a movie?
Okay. Yeah. Quick music thing. Have you listened to the Machine Gun Kelly album?
No.
Do you have any interest in it?
If it's recommended by you, then sure.
So I think that, like, people are going a little bit overboard with the praise, and like, it's the number one album on Billboard, and like, everybody's like, oh my God, this is amazing, blah, 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 blah. Like, it has a lot of like Blink 182 and pop punk shades to it. And that's because Travis Barker works on it. And I heard that. I absolutely loved, Bloody Valentine, which I think was the first single off of it. I still love that song. It's awesome. One of my favorite songs, 2020. And like, the album is good, and I think that maybe you should listen to it. I don't think that necessarily you'll love it. There are a couple really good songs. And this week I started really getting into the song that he has with Halsey on it, which is Forget Me Too. It's
possible I don't know anything about Machine Gun Kelly.
I think it's definitely possible. You probably know Machine Gun Kelly more as an actor than a musician.
Oh, right. Wait, what was Machine Gun Kelly in?
He was in the Pete Davidson movie with the Bill Burr. He was also in the Pete Davidson movie with the guy from 2.5 Men. Big Time Adolescence.
Oh, right.
He was also in Bird Box. You watch Bird Box, right?
Yep.
He had sex in Bird Box.
Whoa.
And then he left with remember, like, they were stuck in that house, and like at one night I think it was Sandra Bullock's character opened a door and he was just having sex with one of the girls in the house.
Oh,
and
right.
And then they stole the car and drove away.
He had a beef with Eminem, correct? Am I getting this
correct?
Right?
Yeah. Him and Eminem went back and forth, and he called him an old man. He is tracks.
Well, Machine Gun Kelly is 30.
He's been around for a while.
Holy smoke! I know nothing about Machine Gun Kelly. This is incredible.
He's been around for a little while.
I also know like very little about Post Malone. Even I don't know. I really am aging because I'm developing major pop music blind spots.
I mean, same. But that's mainly because I pick like 2 pop stars that I like, and that's all I listen to.
Yeah, you choose your fighter.
Exactly. Dude, I have my mains. Yeah.
When I was streaming today, we were playing co-op, and the dude I was streaming with, JKO, I think it's 717. I'll get the name right and put it out there, but he's the Revs like EMLS guy. And in the beginning, he was like, all right, dealer's choice, man. What team you want to be? Which team you like playing with? You've been playing for a few days. Like, which teams have you enjoyed so far? And I was like, oh boy. I was like, I know one team, the New England Revolution, and don't know any other ones. But we did get to play with some EPL teams, so that was cool. But yeah, I don't know anything about Machine Gun Kelly. I'll check that out. That'll be a fun little experiment for me. I've started to work more on my best songs of 2020 list, because I always do that playlist. It's usually 50 songs.
I can't wait to do none of that this year, because I'm just going to pretend that this year didn't exist.
Yeah, I might have to do the same, because I started working on that playlist the other day, and usually it's like 150 that I whittle down to 50.
Mm-hmm. This year it's fuck.
I'm racking my brain, and it's at like 21.
Vineyard Nights times 10.
Yo, I'm gonna have to put all the Vineyard Nights songs on there. I'm gonna text any music friends I have, like, Wayne, I need a favor. Need you to put out like 8 songs. I'm trying to hit a quota here. All those songs are going to be bangers anyway, and they would have been on the list. So I'm gonna need you to put out some songs here. Hotmouth, I'm gonna need a surprise album stat. You guys have a couple months. Put out an album.
By the way, did you know that Blink-182 did a song with the Chainsmokers?
Oh,
it is. Oh, dude, it is. It literally sounds like, I've always had the no, it's not. I guess it's not a theory, because it's like true. But like, the Chainsmokers are the most formulaic band, quote unquote, that has ever existed. They just I feel like they just plug things into an algorithm and it spits out a Chainsmokers song.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they're smart enough for that, but I hear what you're saying.
I think that they have people who are smart enough.
Right. And, you know what's weird? I kind of think that way about way too many musicians. I've got this like weird thing where I just assume a lot of like famous musicians. This is so weird. And I've never really come to grips with it. But like, I think that like Jack Antonoff couldn't sit down and play a piano. I think that like he makes music despite not like really being good at or understanding music. And I think that way about it's so weird. Like, I think so many successful musicians, for whatever reason, I just have this like assumption that like, oh yeah, they can't really play music though. That's so fucking weird. But I mean, Chainsmokers top of the list, and that's gonna be correct though.
Yeah, for sure. I bet they can play like an acoustic guitar, because they definitely seem like acoustic guitar at the party kind of guys.
Oh yeah, they can play "All for You" by Sister Hazel, yes. And that's it.
Yeah, but that song with the Blink-182 and the Chainsmokers, it basically sounds like Blink-182 was just inserted into the Chainsmokers formula, and it's so disheartening as like a Blink-182 guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Blink thing's been
Oh yeah, I mean it's run its course. Been run its course for sure. But it just like I'm fine with Blink being washed and like being like trying to do Blink songs and making not good Blink songs. But I'm not cool with Blink just straight up making Chainsmokers songs.
Right. Yeah. Make them come to you.
Right.
Don't go to them.
Right. So it just made me really sad to have to listen to that song.
Who are some voices, though, that would be great on some maybe unexpected voices that would be great on like a Chainsmokers song or a
I got one.
Like
one
what's my guy's name? Like a Diplo song or something.
So Leon Bridges did a song with Odessa, and that song rules. And it's not like super techno-y or electronic or whatever you want to call it. But like he's just got a great voice. And if you make something that's catchy and you throw Leon Bridges onto it, hell yeah.
You know who I think would be good for this? And I mean, look,
Bon Iver.
The man is no stranger to a crossover collaboration, like a massive collaboration, lending his voice to, speaking of 90s songs, a 1999 song. I believe it was 1999. A 1999 song that was like one of the biggest songs of the 90s. You could argue one of the defining 90s songs if you want to do the ringer conversation. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I'm talking about Rob Thomas. You put like Rob Thomas could do
not a bad call.
Is it Aloe Black that does the Avicii number? The Wake Me Up? Yeah. Right. Like Rob Thomas could do something like that.
For sure he could.
You
know what? I feel like the original Chainsmokers was Santana. Because Santana would just like get people to sing over his guitar. And like he would make bangers, and he would just bring in a shitload of rotating featured artists. That's what the Chainsmokers do.
That is such a good call. Like Avicii and Diplo and all these like Rob Thomas was the original Moo, and Santana was the original Diplo, Chainsmokers, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, I don't know enough about this world of music, but I am quite drawn to it when like Danielle Haim is on a who sings that? Who sings Calvin Harris? Yeah, like I love hearing voices that I like on shit like that.
And like when we shit on the Chainsmokers, it sounds like we're shitting on like that type of music and that brand of music. And I mean, to an extent we are, but it's more of just like making fun of the Chainsmokers as a brand. The Chainsmokers have good songs. Like definitely. They can make good songs, and there are definitely good songs that come out of that genre of music. And it's very interesting to see them feature artists like that and see like the kind of collaborations that are made. So that's like not to dismiss the entire entire genre.
And I'm even fascinated. I mean, we're both fascinated by the Chainsmokers. I've kind of checked out on them, but they came.
Well, because there's becomes an exhaustion with the Chainsmokers when they keep just spitting out the same songs too.
Yeah, whatever the album was a couple years ago. This is probably like 6 years ago, but whatever it was when they did the song with Florida Georgia Line. Like once that happened, I was like, that is
it's enough for me.
To stick with the algorithm metaphor. That like crashed the computer for me. It was just too much douche in one thing. But I mean, I have paid American dollars full price.
That's right. I forgot
to go to a Chainsmokers concert because I was like,
you had a good time.
It was like, hey, this might sound stupid, but would you be down to go see Chainsmokers? Oh my, yes. Not even a second. Yes. I got to see what that whole thing is about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good time, and I just thought of just pure, I guess, genuine interest in what they are like in concert. I would go to that show.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of. One of them, I think, is from Maine. So one of them was really playing it up as a hometown show, and I just find that so funny. Like because the hometown show thing, I'd love to talk to a musician about this. I put stock in that. Like, I put stock in the New York show and the hometown show, like, hitting different for the artist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I think I asked that when like Houndmouth came here, because I feel like every musician that comes to Boston is like, we circled Boston on our tour date. And I was just like, do you say that everywhere you go? Do you say that everywhere you go? Because I hear everybody say that about Boston. And I think that their response was, no, like, this is just generally a good music city. And like, when we play here, the crowds have a little bit more life and it's good atmosphere. And so I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, don't want to answer this for them, but I think the combination of them being basketball guys, like, Matt had a cool Larry Bird t-shirt he was rocking when they played here. And I mean, Boston really likes rock music. Yeah. And like, I remember Clay Cook said that when they do when Zach Brown Band does stadium tours, and I know that Zach Brown Band isn't necessarily like rock, it's like rock, Southern rock, country, whatever you want to call it. When they do stadium tours, Boston is the only city, and I should maybe check this, but he said Boston's the only city that they'll always book 2 nights and have no problem selling out.
I feel like they book 3 nights at this point, because like they've just taken so much money from Fenway.
Yeah, you're right. They always play right. They'll play Fenway, like, you're right, like Zach Brown Band, 6 nights only. America's most beloved ballpark, Boston's most beloved band from, I'm pretty sure, Atlanta.
Yeah. And I feel like every year it gets bigger and bigger. Like the first, I saw them once or twice at Fenway, and like the first year was like, okay, back-to-back nights, they're playing Fenway, they sold out both of them. And then like a year or 2 later, it was like 4 nights, Zach Brown Band. And then like, if it weren't for COVID, it would probably be like, you hate the Red Sox, so just come see Zach Brown for a month at Fenway.
Let's do some radio promo things for certain bands in certain cities. It'll sound really good, especially without us having the rights to play the music to any of their songs. So we'll just say, like, this August, Zach Brown Band, America's most beloved ballpark, 3 nights in a row. And that's when it's you got whatever it is, I don't know what to do. But that would normally be playing there every time, like, between all the songs. What are other Zach Brown bits? I know
Chicken Fried.
Chicken Fried is a huge one.
Yep. The one with the Jimmy Buffett, Toes.
Oh, Toes, right.
Toes is a banger.
Toes. I got Toes in the. They do Homegrown. Cool song.
Great song.
Colder Weather is great.
Colder Weather is an awesome song.
But they've done the same song. They've done Colder Weather like 8 different times.
Yeah, they have.
Have we ever talked about that?
Yeah. We've definitely talked about it.
And they actually do the same thing in that song that Father John Misty does in both Please Don't Die and Gilded Cage, which is why I think he buried Gilded Cage, because he was like, I can't have 2 songs that are even remotely alike, even though nobody would ever fucking catch it, because Zach Brown Band goes platinum every year off of the same song in a different way. Shout out those guys.
The Jimmy Buffett song was Knee Deep.
Knee Deep?
Yeah, knee deep in the water somewhere.
Oh, I thought you were saying like Toes has a Jimmy Buffett vibe, because it definitely does.
Oh, right, but he actually did a song with Jimmy Buffett, and it was Knee Deep.
Our friend Doug played me a very introspective Jimmy Buffett song, like early Buffett.
Really?
Yeah, you ever like? There's some artists that just have like lives and careers that we just don't know about. Like Randy Newman's a classic example. He's got this like fantastic, really thoughtful, like political, like extremely political music, just albums full of it. Ryan Lambert's a huge fan of it. And he showed me at one time, and I was like, this is what Randy Newman was doing before like all the Toy Story shit. And similarly, yeah, Jimmy Buffett has a song, something about like pirate turns something. And it's about like just turning a certain age and kind of like reflecting on your life. And I was like, fuck. This
I don't know,
Dark
man.
Buffett, bro.
But I think that at some point Jimmy Buffett just figured. Wait, so that came after or before?
Before,
Like,
I think.
Okay. I mean, at some point Jimmy Buffett figured it out.
And he was just like, earnest.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that he figured it out, man. He was just like, fuck this. I'm just gonna make beach songs, and I'm just gonna like be on vacation my entire life.
He's like, I'm putting on weight and using far fewer chords. And
hell yeah, I'm trying to follow the Buffett lifestyle.
Yes, dude. Just as life goes on, fewer buttons, fewer chords, fewer words.
Cares.
Yes, That's right. Fewer chords, fewer cares. It means no worries for the rest of your days. That's that kind of life Buffett lives.
We should make like a Jimmy Buffett shirt, and it's just like fewer chords, fewer words, fewer cares, fewer buttons.
That was really good. That was a fucking bar from you. That was kind of in the same vein as what was it? Vineyard Nights, Dreams, Vineyard Nights. I forget what it was, but it was something. There was a thing. Vineyard Nights, Lovers, Vineyard Nights, whatever. Who cares? Vineyard Nights is so over. Vineyard Nights is tanking.
What? Absolutely not. Vineyard Nights is immortal. It's going to live forever.
I didn't mean to make that joke. I forgot to do it. I'll tweet it now, actually.
What, Vineyard Nights is tanking?
Yeah, Vineyard Nights. Yeah.
I'm ruined. No, you should say you should post a picture of Tim Robinson where like the Lucky whatever skit where he yells like I'm ruined after rolling the snake eyes. Just post the screenshot of him yelling, I'm ruined, and say Vineyard Nights is
Snake
tanking.
Eyes? Snake Eyes? Oh! I'm a dead man! Yo, remember, man, I'll always say, like, we spent weeks on that shit. We were obsessed with that and had no one to talk to about it.
Yeah, it was, I think Jeff Israel put us on game?
Oh no. That was I don't know if I told Jeff. Jeff was probably going to do that anyway, but I was into that from the jump.
So that was a you exclusive? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure Jeff did it independently, but like
you pushed it on me. You were like, "Yo, you got to watch this. It's very funny."
Yeah. And it was right. Yeah, that we had basically just our hockey text chain. You, me, Fuddleberg, and Jeff were like, and my coworker Adam Hart. Those were like the only places where you could constantly talk about that one episode of the characters, and someone being like, "Oh, well, did you see like so and so's episode?" No,
you're right. It's the only one that I've ever seen, and also I think that now that everybody got into what is it? I think you should leave. Everybody got into I think you should leave this. They're all like, hey, you should check out this episode of the characters. And I'm like, buddy, let me tell you something. Ben on that one episode of characters.
Oh, shoot, wait. You said the Twitter wasn't working. Is that a thing? Is Twitter not working?
I don't think that it's working. I think that it's
So
working.
I just tried to tweet Vineyard Nights is fucking all caps tanking. And Twitter wouldn't let me, and I'm like, "Yo," because it knows I'm lying.
Yeah, it's still down. Twitter fact checking widget is working perfectly.
Twitter's good.
What do we got? I wanted to talk about.
Did we get into we didn't get into the music.
I think that we did in ways that we didn't expect.
That's true. But is there a song? Is there any song that is so overplayed? I know your answer is "You Make My Dreams Come True" because you think it's cool to put it on a jukebox. Sure. That like even if it's overplayed, you'll never be like,
still makes me happy.
This fucking song, right? Yeah, but I mean, even so, like some songs are great, and you're just like, I can't hear them a million and first time. But every now and then, you'll hear a song that's just like so overplayed, and you're like, I'm so glad to be hearing this song, and I don't think I'll ever tire of it. I had that moment recently with
"Don't Stop Believing" gets me. I mean, like I'm always down for that song.
See, "Don't Stop Believing" is an example of I can't hear it.
I still get down with "Don't Stop Believing" every time.
Oh, I can't do it. It's a great song. I just can't do it. But I heard the other day, Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. And that is, you know that song?
No, I don't think so.
You probably, I'm the man in the box. And it's got this killer chorus. It was a huge.
I mean, I believe
song.
you. I just don't know anything about Alice in Chains.
You'd probably, I was going to attempt the chorus, but I would die. You'd know it if you heard it. But that's, I think, a song that people would be like, man, like, that song is really overplayed, but it's just so fucking good. And shout out to people who can make songs that are incredibly overplayed and people don't tire of them. That was the only example I could think of, though. So,
okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody, whatever. Like the usuals.
Yeah. You worked out with Ted Johnson this week. How did that go?
Great. I'm all set body-wise.
Yeah, you're done?
All done. Yeah, he invited me to... So I have been doing Weight Watchers, have been doing really well with it. This past week, not the case. Really just have fallen off and have been eating my feelings. Just, I think I'm averaging like a pint of ice cream a day. It's crazy. Like I'm just so the opposite. But I had been doing quite well, shedding the pounds. And Ted was like, hey, man, anytime you wanna work out, you can come to the gym where I go. It's safe and everybody keeps distance, blah, blah. And
that's because Ted Johnson works out there and nobody wants to go.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Like people are just completely ignoring stuff, but then they see you and they're like,
I like the gym. And if I went to the gym and I saw Ted Johnson at the gym, I'd be like, well, I got to get out of here.
So no, it's so weird. That shows, A, what a good guy he is, and B, what a dummy I am, that I never even gave it like a thought yesterday when I was working out with him so he was like, we'll do this boxing workout. And it was like a small group class. I think there were like 4 people or something. And we did the boxing workout and he was like, have you ever done a boxing workout?
Just a boxing workout? Yes, I did like a whole summer at a boxing camp.
Oh, cool.
At Hanscom Air Force Base. And dude, that is like the toughest workout that I've ever done in my life. Like, because I'm not a big cardio guy. And I mean, just the constant effort and constant energy that you have to pour into like a boxing regimen is insane.
Exactly. Yeah. I had done some boxing stuff, few years ago, but so anyone who hasn't done a boxing workout, I think I'm correct in saying they're basically designed to make it so doing a simple little thing at the end is like going to be the most taxing thing, and that's what makes the workout worth it. That like at the end you try to do 4 more push-ups, and like your body attempting those 4 push-ups pushes you into some realm that just doesn't exist otherwise, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so and he was saying like I do this boxing workout and he says like it's the hardest workout he's had to do, and which is nuts because he is a
gigantic former NFL player.
Right. So we do that workout and just as difficult as I expected. It was brutal. At the end, I was really, I was just sucking at the end. So the class ends and I'm like, thank you so much for inviting me to this. This felt great. I haven't really had like a crazy workout in a long time. Like I got the endorphins going. Like I feel good, man. Thank you so much. Like I'm doing the typical, like, oh, I'm going to feel that tomorrow. Stupid bullshit like that. And, he was like, yeah, man, like anytime. And, he was like, no pressure at all. Usually I actually do, arms after. And
oh my God.
That really makes that workout count. And,
Jesus.
He was like, no pressure, like go at your own speed, do whatever you want. But if you want to hang out and do arms, then by all means. And I was like, I'm here. Why not?
Right.
Let's do arms. So I did arms with
and now you don't have any arms.
Right. With like the biggest linebacker ever.
He is fucking huge, dude. And like he was always huge, but he just has, I don't know like what it is. He probably looked gigantic in high school. He just has like the build. His face is so square. His body is just so square. He's got the biggest neck I've ever fucking seen. That guy is scary.
Really like your classic 90s monster linebacker.
Like one look at that guy and you were like, what does this guy do for a living? You be like, okay, he played linebacker in the NFL. Right.
Linebacker in the NFL or bodybuilder or something. Really just huge human being. But he's the nicest, greatest person in the world. So yeah, it's weird. Like if I were like not you per se, but like if I were working out with like certain friends, I'd be a little self-conscious that like I can't lift that much, and I'm sure my form is trash and everything. But I know
going into a workout with Ted Johnson that you're gonna get fucking blown out of the water.
Right? Like, well, what's he expecting me to keep up? There's no way. So he there's clearly this.
There's an understanding that you are not the same breed of human.
Yeah, right. There's this like I'm helping you relationship, and honestly, like obviously you and Ted have very different statures, but I've worked out with you before, and there's been the like, hey, I know that you don't know what you're doing, so why would I crack little jokes here when I'm here to help? So that's kind of what it was like. So I plan on continuing to do that, but
can you get Ted Johnson to turn me into a mini Ted Johnson? just like a pint-sized version of Ted Johnson. I feel like it could happen because I'm so small and compact that like if I worked out a week with Ted Johnson, I would look fucking massive.
Right. I mean, in his prime, he was, I mean, and definitely to this day, he's one of those like every ounce of his body is like an incredible muscle.
Yeah, just like squeezed into like a package.
Right. So I feel that actually that's doable with a smaller person, right?
Yeah, because like when you are my size, it is way easier to get bigger because there's less places for things to go. Like for a lanky person, it's harder for them to get like built.
Yeah.
That's why when you see like a Dwight Howard who like in his prime, he was fucking huge. And he's also like 7'2", just the most insane athletic person in the world.
Yeah. It was cool. I'm going to keep trying to do it. The guy did point out after though, and I'm very self-conscious about this. My posture is
oh god, that's
trash.
I'm afraid because I spend now every waking moment of my free time playing video games and sitting in this stupid chair. And my posture has always been bad. My back has always been junk. Although I will say I got a new mattress and I obviously have this new gamer chair. My back is better. My back is
good.
Better. I think the mattress has been a huge thing because I had the same mattress for like 10 years.
He did say he was like, look up posterior exercises, get a band, do them every day. And
I wish my band has posterior exercise.
That's right. And I was like, honestly, it's like when your dentist tells you to floss. Yes. You're like, yeah, I should fucking do that.
But you're not going to do it?
No, and I'll be honest. At a lot of points in my life, a dentist has been like, you should floss more. And I've been like, sure. And then I'll floss for like 3 days and forget and then develop bad habits.
And then you find out on Twitter 10 years later that flossing doesn't actually help.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they said like a couple of years ago, they were like, oh yeah, flossing is a fraud.
What? I was going to say that because now I do floss all the time. Like I really am at a point in my life
wasting your time, floss. Baby. No.
Really?
Yeah, flossing is big time fraud.
Flossing, big trash. Damn. You imagine the things I could have been doing. I could have been working on my posture.
You'll never get that time back.
Oh my God. Well, that sucks.
Yep.
Man, I mean, I walk into the dentist every time, big swinging teeth, thinking I'm getting all these compliments, and then they don't even say anything. They're not like, ooh, someone's flossing. They don't say any shit like that because they're probably like, what's floss, dork?
They're like, why is this? They're probably pissed because like that is the one thing they get to say to everybody who comes into the dentist, and it makes it seem like they know what they're talking about. Where they're like, hey, you should floss, and then when somebody who actually does floss comes in, they're like, oh well, fuck this guy.
Right. Like,
now I have to make up some other shit, some other bullshit thing that I have to tell them to do. You probably go into the dentist and they're probably like, hey, you should do some posterior exercises because
I walk
your
in
posture's
there
looking a little bad in the chair.
No, I'm getting it. When I walked in last time, I was like, hey, I've really been keeping up with my flossing. And the dentist was like, oh, you have? Hey, whoever the receptionist is, just a heads up, this guy's probably going to pay with a check because he does a lot of stupid dated shit that really just only slows stuff down. So get ready. Let's get the checkbook ready, or however we accept checks. Yep. That was the flossing / check joke of the day. Do we want to talk about hockey or anything?
No, but Randy Arozarena just homered again. Just a
Rosarena. Hardly.
Yep, there it is. No, but we should talk about two things that we have on the schedule coming up. We don't often do. We don't often talk about things that we're going to.
We'll let you know what's coming up on the Brunch Podcast. You can give us a shout, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Head over to Pete's Twitter account. You're going to find a lot of cool stuff. He's always got you covered, covering a lot of unturned stones in the hockey world. Check me out. I'm DJ_Bean. That's on twitter.com/DJ_Bean. Head over to patreon.com/listen to brunch. Give us your hard-earned. We will give you back our hard-earned. Fiverr sale. Listen to brunch.com/merch. Head over to listen to brunch.com/Jeff for secret items. Smash that subscribe button.
We'll see you next time.